Without further ado, we'll welcome Frankie to the show. Frankie, you out there?
Yes, sir. Yes. Good afternoon.
Frankie, I've seen this motor before that you have before. I've seen it in a variety of different areas. I've noticed what it can do. I understand the dynamics behind it because I've done a couple of clean energy type deals myself with biodiesel, not necessarily on the engine side. But Frankie, tell us how you got started on this and how did you guys get to this point?
Well, I came from the oil industry and retired from there. I know the complications of all the different fuels. I also know I ran an LNG plant, know how natural gas is a really clean burning fuel. And I moved to Florida, and I met a lifetime inventor, Mr. Harry Scholl, who is the inventor of this engine. And Harry, we got together and we started talking about what we could do instead of retirement. We don't retire very easily down here, and he showed me what he had been working with for quite a while. And he said, if we can do this, this, and this, we can make a clean burning engine, the same type of engine that's been running our electricity for the last 100 years, and put it in a small package. And he said, what do you think? And I said, I think we would be really not do the world a good service by leaving this on the table. So we put our own money in and went on and eventually went public, which I realize now after the fact that it was too early. But we went through our R&D stage, and we're now into pre-production, or we're doing our production models. And it's just an amazing thing because we can burn any types of fuels, including the oil industry, and we don't have to clean up we could get 3 times out of the oil fuels than what we're doing now, and still burn it clean. So it's just an amazing accomplishment for Mr. Scholl and for Cyclone.
It is an amazing thing. I said before, I've seen this motor before, and I've seen different types of biodiesel and actually manufactured different types of biodiesel, whether we did ours with crushed mass from tropha trees. We've done it with a variety of different things. But the one thing that stands out to me that we saw on your website was the fact that you guys could essentially power this thing using orange peels or biodiesel made from orange peels. Can you shed some light on that?
Yes, orange peel oil actually has the same BTU value as diesel. It's about 140,000 BTUs per gallon. And that's why if you have your orange cleaner, it says flammable, and it's made from the oil of orange peel juice. And it's just, I know that as kids, we used to take an orange peel and squeeze it and put a match on it. And we do understand that orange peel, or delaminine is what they call it, is not a fuel that has great quantities, which is like the whole world. Everybody has biofuels in their area, and they have to mix it with diesel at a certain percentage rate to run it in the engines that they have out there today. Where if you had a Cyclone engine, you could run any liquid or vapor fuel that happens to be available. It doesn't have to meet, you don't have to meet the pentane and octane ratings and that kind of thing, but you can mix anything. Whatever's local, whatever's the cheapest, you got it. You can use it.
Frankie, obviously the technology is groundbreaking, and as I said, I've seen it before with the compression of the steam and running the engine from that standpoint. Incredible pressure you guys create from the heat. Why hasn't anybody done this before?
They basically it couldn't have been done before 1997, and the reason being that we can reach these temperatures and pressures, which in steam we people say high pressure, high temperature, but that's relative to steam. And we can reach those because we use water lubrication. In the old-timey steam engines, they put oil in the water. And oil in the water at over 700 degrees carbonizes and stops up everything. Well, now they've got materials of ceramics and things like that were invented in 1997, actually for steam turbines, that we are able to use water as a lubricant. And when somebody tells you water isn't a lubricant, tell them to take the rubber mat out of their ceramic tub and see what happens. And so it is a lubricant, and Mr. Scholl has had a lot of experience in the marine industry, and he had other inventions that he used water lubrication, and it was just, we thought it was going to be one of the harder things, but it was actually one of the easiest things is the water lubrication. So now we can run the high temperatures, high pressure steams and reach the efficiencies of a diesel on a constant basis and get really good. Now our combustion chamber, where we burn the fuels, we keep it below 2200 degrees F. And by doing that, we don't produce NOx, because NOx doesn't appear until after 2300 degrees.
So you can produce no nitrous oxide at that point?
Nope. No, you get on startup of the engine, you get some flame tip NOx, but after it starts up, then we run it at the lower temperatures, and it's zero NOx.
Well, Frankie, the obvious competition right now is that big 600-pound gorilla in California we call Tesla, which we think is overvalued because I'm in the private equity business myself. Yeah. And they just recently announced the creation of their first semi-truck that essentially will go 200 miles on a single charge. And one of the things that we found in researching your company is that you don't believe, or we've been led to believe, that you don't believe that the torque that those trucks can generate will actually be useful on highways. Talk to me about the difference between your engine and a traditional diesel engine and an electric-driven engine, and what the efficiency differences would be.
Okay, on the Tesla, for instance, number one is they've got to carry a huge supply weight of batteries to do that. And also, how do you recharge batteries? Well, Tesla says it all the time. He says he uses diesel engines to charge the battery. So you're still it's a two system, whereas we are the same system as a power plant. So why have the power plant go through the electrical lines to charge batteries when you could just put the Cyclone engine in your car or in the truck? And
Frankie, we have just a few minutes here. Just right at a minute left here. One thing that stands out as far as the product is concerned is the fact that it's considered a green technology. As we close out the interview, talk to me a little bit about the green nature of the technology and where you see it going forward.
The green nature is the fact that our emissions are at least a third less than everything else. We burn the fuels very efficiently. We don't have oil in the engine. We don't have oil changes, that kind of thing. We can burn biomass. It's a heat engine. We can use any heat. We use solar. Third world countries, the applications are endless.
Fabulous. I can see that. The one thing that stands out to me, obviously, I've done a lot of different projects like this, and this is one that really is interesting to me because I've spent time with a lot of different energy groups. Mm-hmm. That said, we know that your company is growing right now. You're looking for that next big move to the upside. Tell us how people can get involved or get contact with Cyclone Power to where they may be interested in maybe possibly investing in the company or getting more information about the engine and so on. How can they get a hold of you guys?
They can either the info at Cyclone Power, INFO at cyclonepower.com, or Frankie at cyclonepower.com. And, of course, our telephone number, 954-943-8721. And I try very hard to return every call myself.
Perfect. Frankie, thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate you giving us a chance to learn about the Cyclone engine, the Cyclone Power. I look forward to speaking to you guys again. And I want to thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much. We sure appreciate your considerations.
Thank you very much. That was Frankie Fruge, CEO of Cyclone Power. Coming back on the other side here, we'll be back on the other side with the private equity spotlight, and I think you guys will like what we have today. Also, we want to let you know that this particular section was sponsored by Notify, the CRM of the future.